All right, things were a bit rushed for me. And so I barely got this together for many reasons, but I did put together a slideshow. Our mission as a church for February and March is the Vocational Technical School at the Croix New Testament Mission in Haiti. So that is an incredibly big project. The objective is that over a 2-year period, which began September a year ago, so it's been in process for a year and 5 months, is to develop a vocational technical school for educating young adults beyond high school, to encourage them and to provide them with the education that they need to provide for themselves an income from the skills that they've learned. Initially, they were going to do 7 disciplines, and let me see if I can rattle them off, but I do know that they've added an 8th. They have 3 disciplines that are up and running and have been since last September a year ago. They are carpentry, sewing, and computer. So I have pictures here in a few minutes of those disciplines and what they're doing. The other disciplines that they're working on getting going will be welding, electric wiring, which will focus very heavily on solar energy since the electric grid in Haiti is not dependable, and plumbing, auto mechanics, and agriculture. What's that?
Did you say masonry?
Masonry, yes. Masonry is pretty well known, but they do need help with they do need help with doing it right. The Haitians have a tendency to take shortcuts. Okay, are we good to go from here?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay. Can you go over here to the right side, and will an arrow come up that will allow you to just advance slide by slide? No?
Try opening in a different viewer.
I'll tell you what. Putting this together turned into a crazy situation. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong, including the phantom disappearance of the file. Twice. Once I found it. You know that mode where you can click and drag? Yeah, I don't do that. I don't dare do that. That's the time I found it. It was in another file I didn't intend for it to be in. But then I did something, I lost it completely and had to start over. Well, I apologize for this. Like I said, pulling this together was very last minute. I just put all these slides into the Dropbox that Pastor Steve created this morning. The La Croix New Testament Mission has been in existence since the early 1980s. Our church has been associated with the mission since the very beginning. And I know a lot of you all know this, but just for those of you who are relatively new, the mission was started by Pastor Vocational in the early 1980s. He had been assigned to the ministry as part of, after he finished seminary, as part of the mission that was operated by a member of our church, Marion Girton. Marion Girton was a missionary in Haiti for 30 years. Pastor Pierre's vision was to create a missionary school that would provide an elementary basic education for K through 12, and to provide that for those who could not afford it for free. Most schools in Haiti are not government run. Most schools in Haiti are run by non-governmental organizations such as the La Croix New Testament Mission. Most of those schools are run by, or at least started by, people from other countries. The unusual thing about La Croix is that it was started by and run by Haitians. This, in my opinion, gives us the opportunity to, for this school to go on well beyond Pastor Pierre. So, if, are we ready to go, Penny?
Yeah.
Okay, if we could back up to the sunrise. Oh, somehow it rotated.
That's how it is when you wake up in bed.
Okay. Well, this, if you can imagine it being rotated clockwise, is sunrise coming up over the mountains to the east from at La Croix New Testament Mission. You will notice the smoke. That's a constant in Haiti. Haitians are constantly burning something. Next slide, please.
You asked for sunrise.
Huh?
You asked for sunrise.
Side rise. Well, I have to say this is my fault, not their fault, since I didn't get it to them at a reasonable time.
Isn't that nice?
Oh, that's beautiful. There you got, have the arrow. All right. All right, now if we could back up a few slides. There we go, keep back. One more, I think. Okay, this is Dan and Madel Beck. Dan and Madel are from upstate New York. I probably met Dan in 2011 or 2012 on his first mission trip. They have been called to spend 2 years at La Croix New Testament Mission, and the purpose of them staying there is to get this vocational technical school up and running. Okay, next. All right, this is taken from the mountain up above to the west of the mission, and it shows a picture of the basic mission. In the background, you have what they call the Four Seasons wing, which is where the preschool is, and it's also where the American teams stay. Up here, this pinkish colored building in the front is the new school building, which was built 5 or 6 years ago. The building with the green roof back behind that to the left is the cafeteria, and a few years ago we put the roof on that second floor addition. In the second floor addition are 2 classrooms, one for sewing and one for computers, and then to the far left, the mission owns a pretty good substantial amount of land, and that is where the vocational technical school is being built. Next, please. Before they could start construction on that land, they built this wall. Everything in Haiti that is of value, oh, thank you. Everything of value must be protected. Next, please. And that's the existing church. That's the pinkish colored school building's roof. And this is the wall all along the road. And it continues around and encloses this entire area, which is probably 3 or 4 acres that the mission purchased some years ago. And basically it was used for a soccer field. But they knew that in the future this would be done, or something like this would be done. This is the lab building under construction. Next, please. And this is one of 2 gate entrances into the new portion of the La Croix New Testament mission. Next, please. Yeah, and then just the concertina wire or broken bottles or whatever they can afford to put into the top to protect anything of value. This is again a picture of the lab building. We were last there in January 2019, and this picture was taken at that time. Larry Smith helped quite a bit with framing up, finishing the wall framing, installing the trusses, and framing the roof. Next, please. Yeah, this is Ed Averwater and Dan Beck up working on, I think they're installing purlins to get ready to put the metal roof on. Before we left that week, the metal roof was on the building. Next, please. And this is what the building looks like today, pretty much finished. This front corner here is the office, and then there are classrooms, each with its own separate door. Next, please. Yeah. That's the office here in the front corner. And I'm not exactly sure how many classrooms they are, but this is what the classrooms look like with the desks. Yeah. Not all the classrooms are in use, so this one is partially being used for storage until, like I said, they get the other disciplines up and running. This is a picture of the office. This is the carpentry class right here. The gentleman teaching the class is Montfort, and he has been with the mission in one capacity or another, mostly as a teacher, for a number of years. But he was hired as the instructor for the carpentry class. And this is I did not have many pictures of the carpentry class in action. They have been doing a lot. And I'm not even sure what they're working on. I think they're finishing out the inside of one of the classrooms here. This is the second floor addition that was put on top of the cafeteria and the steps installed to get up there. When we put the roof on that, there were no steps, so we were taking everything up ladders to that opening right there. Next, please. And this is the sewing room that's been finished out with the sewing machines down all the way around. Next, please. I have several pictures here of the sewing room and how it looks. And this is initially Madel, who is quite a seamstress, taught the sewing. And this is her working with several of the students. And by the way, the students are paying tuition to attend school. The objective, excuse me, the objective of the vocational technical school is that after the initial expense of getting it set up and operating, that it will be self-sustaining by both tuition and by products and services that the students can provide and be paid for. Next, someone donated a silk screening operation, which has proved to be very valuable. They had a very large closet, which they went ahead and set up as the print shop. This is Madel experimenting. And when Dan and Madel were here, whenever we had our picnic last year, they had T-shirts. She's printing those T-shirts right here. Next, please. Yes. And this is a picture of the computer room, which is in that second floor space, just adjacent to the sewing room. And I don't know what kind of camera these were taken with, but they've come off a little small. But now, when we were there in January, the computers had not yet arrived. But now you can see that it's fully equipped with computers. And they do have an instructor and probably about 20 students. Okay. Now, this past year, they began construction on the lab building. And this has been a very difficult thing to do because of the upheaval in Haiti. It's been next to impossible to acquire materials, but things have improved recently, and they've been able to get materials and get back to work on it. This is preparation for pouring the concrete slab. And this is beginning to pour the concrete slab. You can see, back up one, please. Thank you. You can see this is the concrete mixer right here. And they pretty much put it right in the middle of where they're working, and just when each batch is done, dumping it out and starting to spread it. They're pouring a massive slab here. You can see this slab is going to go all the way down to there. They are right about here now. And once the slab's cured, they began laying the concrete block for the walls. You can see that they have a stack of trusses already sitting here ready to be installed. I'm sure that the carpentry program got those ready to go. And this is the completed concrete block walls. Right now they have formed and they're pouring beams over the door openings. The door openings are very large so that they can get materials and equipment into the lab spaces. This will be the area where they'll practice welding. They'll practice auto mechanics. They'll practice all the different aspects of each discipline. Okay, again, just pouring the beams that go across the door openings. And then this is how the structure looks right now. It's all set up. It's all ready for the trusses to be installed once everything is cured and ready to accept that load. And this is the final picture. This is just from up on the mountain. There are large numbers of goats that it seems like they just roam up there, but Pastor Pierre says the people who live there know who they belong to. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, especially since we have the dinner, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Larry Smith, Debbie, Doug, Janet, I hope I'm not missing anyone, have all been there, and we'll be happy to talk about the La Croix New Testament mission and what they do. Thank you very much.